Hey, what's up, crypto fam? Welcome back to XRP Future Finance. Today we're talking about something that actually matters for your bags, so don't scroll past this one. A peace deal just dropped between the US and Iran, and it's already shaking up Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP in a big way. Let's get right into it. Bitcoin is sitting just under $66,000 right now, and this is its third day in a row of climbing. That's not random noise, that's a real trend forming. The reason behind it traces straight back to news that Washington and Tehran have landed on a preliminary peace agreement. Whenever global tension cools off like this, money tends to flow back into riskier assets, and Bitcoin is catching that wave right now. Ethereum is following the same script, pushing back above $1,700. It's not some massive breakout, but after weeks of choppy price action, holding that level matters. Traders are warming back up to risk, and Ethereum is benefiting from that shift in mood just as much as Bitcoin is. XRP is holding steady above 1.18, and what's got people talking is the MACD indicator flashing a buy signal on the charts. That doesn't mean a moonshot is guaranteed, but it's the kind of early signal technical traders pay close attention to, especially when the whole market is leaning more bullish at the same time. Zooming out, Monday's session showed green across the board, and Bitcoin's run towards $66,000 is really the engine pulling everything else along with it. Ethereum and XRP are basically tracking right alongside it. This isn't some isolated pump in one coin. This is a market-wide reaction tied directly to what's happening overseas. So let's get into the actual news driving all this. The US and Iran have announced a deal that could lead to reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the most important shipping routes on the planet for oil. Iran's deputy foreign minister went on state TV confirming the deal is set to be signed Friday, and Iran's military leadership is already calling it a win on their side. When a major choke point for global trade looks safer, markets everywhere tend to relax a little. We don't have all the fine print yet, but CNN is reporting that the ceasefire that started back in early April is getting extended, both in how long it lasts and what it covers. That extension reportedly opens up around 60 days of continued talks between both sides. For markets, that extra time matters because it lowers the chance of things suddenly blowing up again and rattling global trade. On top of that, Iran's National Security Council says the US naval blockade is being lifted right away and that the broader conflict is supposed to wind down across the board, including Israel's operations in Lebanon. That's a big claim if it actually holds up. Worth mentioning, though, Lebanon's national news agency is reporting that Israel has actually expanded its strikes in southern Lebanon, so this situation is still messy and far from fully settled. Even with that complexity still in play, crypto markets are clearly choosing to focus on the positive side of things. You can see it in the Fear and Greed Index, which climbed to 20 on Monday. Now, technically that's still extreme fear territory, but look at the trend. It was 18 the day before and just 8 the week before that. We're nowhere near greed yet, but the direction is clear, and that shift in mood is exactly what fuels continued recovery. If this improving sentiment keeps building, the targets people are talking about get pretty exciting. Bitcoin eyeing a break above $70,000, Ethereum pushing toward $2,000, and XRP setting sights on that 2.00 mark everyone's been waiting for. None of that is locked in, but these become real conversations once fear starts turning into actual optimism. For XRP especially, a run back to $2.00 would be a massive milestone for this community. Let's break down Bitcoin's chart for a second. On the way up, resistance first shows up around $70,703, which lines up with the 50-day EMA. Clear that, and the next wall sits near $73,317 at the 100-day EMA, with the 200-day EMA forming a thicker ceiling around $78,755. That's a dense zone bulls need to fight through to really shake off the recent downside pressure. If price pulls back instead, the first support to watch sits near $60,237 at the parabolic SAR level, a spot buyers have defended before. Now to Ethereum, trading around $1,720 at the moment. The near-term picture is still a bit cautious technically, with price sitting below the 20-day Bollinger Middle Band near $1,790, and below the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day EMAs at $1,966, $2,122, and $2,392. Those levels are acting like a lid on price for now, so there's still work to be done before this turns into a fully confirmed recovery. That said, the MACD histogram has flipped modestly positive, which is usually one of the earlier hints that selling pressure is easing up. RSI sitting in the high 30s backs that up too, showing a fragile but genuine attempt at recovery. On the way up, watch the Bollinger Midline near $1,790, then $1,966, then the upper Bollinger Band near $2,111, before the bigger tests at $2,122 and $2,392. If momentum fades instead, the lower Bollinger Band near $1,467 becomes the next support to watch. And now XRP, the one you're really here for. Trading around $1.18, still technically capped below the 20-day Bollinger Middle near $1.20, and below the 50-day, 100-day, 20, and below the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day EMAs at $1.28, $1.38, and $1.59. Plenty of resistance stacked up above current price, no doubt about that. But here's the part that's got people paying attention. MACD has turned mildly positive on the daily chart, which hints at an early recovery attempt building. RSI is around 43, still under the neutral 50 mark, so rallies could still run into selling pressure for now. On the upside, first resistance is the Bollinger Midline near $1.20, then $1.28 at the 50-day EMA. Push past that, and the upper Bollinger Band near $1.37 lines up with the 100-day EMA at $1.38, with the 200-day EMA near $1.59 as the bigger test further out. On the downside, support sits at the lower Bollinger Band near $1.03, and the $1.00 mark is the line everyone's watching if this pullback continues. So that's where things stand. A real peace deal is cooling off tension overseas, sentiment is slowly climbing out of extreme fear, and the charts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are all showing early signs of life, even with resistance still sitting overhead. Keep these levels on your radar because they'll tell us a lot about whether this move has legs. That's the update for today. Catch you in the next one.